It don't red for South Africa side. It don't red. Now South Africa they see only red, 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 red. And guess what? As it they red, now they can't remember. Say, hey, these are our Africans that we were chasing away. They can be important for us. We have to go back and beg them. It don't red. As it they red, they are back begging. They are back. People are just laughing. I saw comments on social media and I was like, I thought I was the only one thinking that. I thought I was the only one thinking in this direction. I don't know, say the whole world is looking at South Africa now and laughing at them. South Africa has become a joke. Yes, the world has to be laughing at you guys. Of course, especially the blacks. The world is laughing. Seriously laughing at you guys now. As a South African, many of these black South Africans, I still probably need to educate them the way I did in the previous video about Ghana. Because all this xenophobia thing you see, all this Nigeria must go, Zimbabweans must go, all these attacks from any African country you see, is always a political agenda. I'll tell you the fact, it's always a political agenda. There's always somebody sponsoring it to benefit from it, to blackmail the president or the people to make sure that they rise against the government so that the person will get credit during the next coming election, will have more grounds and win sympathy of the people and get more votes, and then they will vote out a person that is working and bring in somebody that will be controlled by Europeans, controlled by white people, and then the person will make sure that the economy of that country goes down and never grows. That is the handwriting on the wall. I don't know why African countries are still falling for this. That's why any African country that does this kind of things, I call them mumu people, because you have to be a mumu person not to understand this strategy that the white people, the Europeans, the leaders of this Western world, they don't use that for Africa countless times. Countless times. It's just like in Libya today, guys. Somebody in Libya today, you look at Libya today and say, wow. So a Libyan citizen got up and said, no, we don't want Muhammad Gaddafi. Like a Libyan citizen who's having free education, free fuel, free everything, free healthcare, got up and said the president that is giving them all of that, we don't want him because America launched the propaganda. That's the mindset of some African for you. You look at it and you say, chai, people can mumu. People can mumu. And that's exactly what you see happening with these South Africans. And now, because South Africa is seeing shaggy, they are back to begging Nigeria. They are back to trying to see how they can rebuild a better relationship with Nigeria. They are back to see how they can negotiate. Now they are forgetting that they are the ones who are shouting, we don't want foreigners. Nigerians must go. Zimbabweans must go. Now those foreigners you say you don't want, their countries is becoming your only hope. Nigeria is becoming the only hope for South Africa. Zimbabwe is becoming the only hope for South Africa. All of Africa is now your hope. And that's the people you have been chasing out. That's the people you have been attacking. So the white people, the Europeans, they have made it hard for you. They have made it impossible for you. And now you are back to the people you're chasing. So imagine that other African countries, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, Somalia, all the governments of these countries say, okay, South Africa, this is what your citizens are doing to our people. This is what you guys are doing to us. We will not give you what you're begging us to give you. Imagine that scenario. What will happen? Chaos. Total chaos for South Africa. More total chaos for South Africa. Right? And now you begin to understand why I kept on saying that the South African president and the South African government will not sit quiet anymore. You see, that previous xenophobia, they sat quiet too because they still had a good relationship with America and Europe. Now everything don't tear. Everything is, they don't destroy. So now South Africa president will not in any possible means support xenophobia in South Africa. South Africa president will not support Dudula. He will not support any attacks on Nigerians. He will not support any attacks on Zimbabweans, any attacks on any Africans in South Africa. He will not, because he knows that that's where he will go begging. That's where he can survive. That's the only hope he has left. If not, South Africa's trade will completely collapse. I mean, trade in South Africa will collapse to zero. You understand? And I talked about it with boldness, telling South Africans that your president will never, mark my lips, never again encourage that attack. It will never happen. Even if it means he should arrest all the Dudula members and lock them up. If South Africans go attacking foreigners now, I tell you, your government will send police for you people. Police go tear gas South Africans. Police will stop you people at all costs. It's already happening. It's already happening, it's a fact. So you have seen how some Dudula members have faced the police already, because your government knows what is going on. Now, why is the South African government now begging Nigeria for trade? Why? Okay, let me break it down, because I know, see, that one is very important to explain so that people go understand. Right now, America has completely made life very, very difficult for South African trade. The South African trade is down. They are crumbling down because America has made it totally, like, almost impossible for South Africa to trade with America, trade with Europe and benefit. If South Africa is trading with America now, it's on a total loss. Because imagine that Trump adding tariffs on other countries in Africa. He goes to a country, gives them 15%, 10%, 9% tariff increase. But when he got to South Africa, he made sure that he crumbles South Africa. Because Trump gave South Africa additional 30% increase in the trade tariff. So imagine you're carrying any products from South Africa. You want to carry it to America. Excluding your transportation on that product. Excluding your expenses to produce that product. You're going to pay 30% of its value on tax, on tariffs to America. So if that thing cost $100, $30 is going straight to the American government as tariff, plus how you have to transport that thing. You understand? So basically, there's absolutely no way. There's no way out for South Africa. You cannot, no country can deal with that and make money. And Americans, now the only option is Americans will say, okay, we love South African goods, we'll buy them anyway. And then you hike the prices in America, right? So that you make your money. Let's say it's a pen or it's a piece of bread, and Americans want to eat only that South African bread. That means once that bread enters America, you have to increase the price by probably 30% to recover your money. But American citizens, they will not sacrifice to pay more because the product is coming from South Africa. Meanwhile, there are cheaper things from different countries because the tariffs from those countries is more better. And because of this, South Africa is suffering. South Africa is now suffering seriously from trade, from tariff sanctions, suffering seriously from hard conditions that America has imposed on them. So, South Africa has no choice than to beg other African countries. South Africa has no choice than to turn back to Africa and say, please, my African brothers. It reminds me of apartheid. Eh? You guys will get back there. You guys say you can never beg Nigerians. I'm seeing how Zimbabweans are laughing at you now. Zimbabweans keep telling South Africans the same skills Zimbabweans are using to cross the border. South Africans better start learning it. Because very soon, you South Africans will be the one crossing to Zimbabwe to look for work. The unemployment in your country is mad. God. I don't think there's any country in the world that is as worst as South Africa with unemployment. So your South Africans better start learning how to jump the border, how to cross those walls, and go to Zimbabwe and find jobs. The Nigeria, you say you will never beg from them, despite them helping you in apartheid. So if Nigeria and Africa actually turns back to help South Africa now, that will be the second time in the history of South Africa that Nigeria is standing up for them, protecting them, helping them from the whites, from the Europeans, from America. That will be the second time. But will Nigeria freely do that again? Because South Africans will definitely come out and say, what did Nigeria do for us? How did Nigeria help us? We don't need their help. As a matter of fact, they can leave our country. We don't want them. So it's going to be more difficult for South Africans if this Dudula movement is encouraged. It's going to be more hard for South Africans if you people continue to encourage the attacks on Nigerians. Because it will eventually get to a point where even Nigerians will say, okay, we don't want to do anything with South Africa. No trade, no business. Don't forget, even if Nigeria government and South Africa government agree on trade, Nigerians are the ones that consume. It's not Nigeria government that consume. So Nigerians still have the power to say, we will boycott South Africa. We will boycott anything South Africa. The power is there. Like now, Ghana president has said the multi-choice must cut their price. If not, they should pack out and leave Ghana. That's what is happening in Ghana right now. So South Africans must be warned, must be careful the way they go out with this their Nigerians attack, Zimbabweans attack, Nigerians must go, xenophobia, all of that stuff. The way you guys do it, don't let it become one of the reasons why your country will face more difficulty, more challenges. Don't be used. Do not be used. A word to a wise is sufficient. If you think I'm joking, go and read more on the challenges and difficulties that South Africa is currently facing now with trade in that country. It is what it is. Your boy Ajimaxi on this one again. I have a shocking, surprising, great news that I'll be sharing with you guys on my next video. So make sure you are on the channel because you don't want to miss it. Guys, come back anytime you're free. God bless you all. Cheers.